Atlanta News First Plus starts now.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for being with us here on the First Alert Desk. We do have some stories that we're catching you up on at this 10 o'clock hour. I'm Brooks Baptiste. Thanks for joining us. I want to get you caught up on the big story this morning, which has been breaking news. This is out of College Park, where we are still working to gather some new details regarding an officer-involved shooting. Now the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has had to come in and get involved in this investigation. And Atlanta News First Don Shipman is with the First Alert Breaking News Tracker. He has more about where this location is specifically, and also how the investigation spans two locations.
Yeah, one location here and then another one down the road over there. What I have confirmed is that the shooting involving that officer happened at this location. What we don't know is if anyone was hit. We also don't know what led up to that shooting. But I want you to take a look at that apartment complex where the other shooting happened. That happened right around 7 o'clock. An investigation underway there. This is just down the street near Fayetteville Road. A woman told us that her daughter was shot by someone there, not police. She's expected to be okay. Here's what happened. Police responded, and shortly after that, people in that apartment complex say that they heard gunfire over here where we are on Norman Drive at Crystal Lane. College Park police tell us that the two shootings are connected. Now, what we don't know is if they have a suspect in custody. And again, we also don't know if anyone was injured when that College Park officer fired their weapon. All questions we're putting forth to the GBI now lead on this investigation. We're here in Clayton County. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
Well, happening today, another story that we're watching, a final public hearing for a potential property tax increase in Fulton County. This has a lot of folks talking, but obviously the people who live there are a bit concerned right now, as you can imagine. Atlanta News First Blake Devine reports from the Fulton County Government Center, because the big question is, where is the money going to go towards? He's got more details about that.
Fulton County commissioners are considering this property tax increase during a meeting today, which will take place at 10 o'clock. This will give residents a final opportunity to speak out before any final decisions are set in stone. The board is proposing a 2025 millage rate of 9.87 mils, up from last year's 8.87, which would result in a 12.5 increase in property taxes. The extra funding would go towards required improvements at the Fulton County Jail following a federal consent decree. Without the increase, District 3 Commissioner Dana Barrett says only $700,000 would be left to cover unexpected jail costs. We caught up with residents during last month's meeting who shared frustration over potential property tax increases.
It's a huge, huge burden, and we're paying a lot more in our mortgage than we previously were because we're paying for the taxes. So I wanted to see why it went up so much.
County commissioners are expected to review updated costs for the jail before making their final decision. This meeting will take place at 10 o'clock, as anyone is welcome to attend. Reporting in downtown Atlanta, Blake Devine, Atlanta News First.
Blake, thank you for that. Well, if you travel Georgia 400, you probably have your thoughts about this. There's a push to bring toll lanes back to Georgia 400, and the Trump administration is looking to make that a reality. President Donald Trump's administration announcing a $3.89 billion loan, and this is going to help build new lanes for 16 miles in both directions of that interstate. So the lanes would run along a section from MARTA's North Springs Station to north of McFarland Road. Peach Partners is also providing $75 million in future bus rapid transit related improvements. And Atlanta News First asked the Georgia Department of Transportation about how much these tolls would cost. They told us it would depend on ridership. What are your thoughts? Could you imagine having to pay a toll for Georgia 400? That might help some of that traffic out there. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right, let's talk about Black Restaurant Week. That is also happening right now in Atlanta. If you've never had an opportunity to partake in this, let me tell you, it is so incredible to see. It's an experience to explore and support local Black-owned restaurants, bakeries, and even food trucks all across the metro. The festivities are going to run through Sunday, August 17th. But you're talking about so many different flavors, so many different foods, so much that is just incredible to see. And of course, this is Atlanta, so you can imagine that there are a lot of Black-owned restaurants that are here in our city, because this is really what they used to call the Black Mecca. I don't know, they may still call it that, but there are so many people here who come up with a great idea. They have the support of the community that they need, so I'm sure that all of these restaurants would love to see you support them. Again, Black Restaurant Week is going to run through August 17th. All right, we've got to talk about your weather. And right now, I'm going to give you a live look outside, because look at this. Just take a look at how gloomy it is. And this is something that we have been dealing with now for I'm telling you, for several days. I was out of town last week, came back into town, and I said, wait a minute. All I'm seeing is rain right now, but finally it looks like that rain is moving out. But the big question is, will we be able to see the sun? First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi is going to tell us about that in just a bit. But right now, as we give you this live look over the city, you can see that traffic is moving. Traffic is moving rather smoothly right now. So, of course, we will be sure to keep you posted about all of that. But I'm going to turn things over to First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Courtney, I've been saying that we've got the gloom out here. Will we see the sun?
We will see the sun today, finally, Brooks, which, it was cool to have the cooler days, the kind of lazy, rainy days, but I'm ready for some sunshine at this point. I'm missing it a little bit, and we will see the return of sunshine today, and it'll ultimately lead us into a nicer back half of the week. So that's the good news. If you're wondering, when's all this rain going to stop? When's the gloom going to go away? Well, I got good news for you, because it's pretty much today where we're going to start to see the sunshine return and the forecast ultimately get better for the back half of the week. Alrighty, so let's get you up to speed here on what to expect for the next several days. I totally just minimized all the graphics here, and now I'm lost. I don't know where I am anymore, but we will get back to it. There we go. Now I know where I am. Okay, bingo. All right, too many buttons over here, guys. I wish you could see behind the scenes sometimes. All right, so I am First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I know it was off to a little bit of a dreary start, but that will improve from here on out, especially over the next several hours. So let's take you through the forecast. Good news is no First Alert weather days in the forecast, which essentially means no super impactful weather. But overall, here you go. What will you need today? I'm sure a lot of you have already started your day, but if the off chance you're just taking it a little slower on this Wednesday, you won't need the umbrella. I think that's the most important thing. Now, we will have the chance for a few quick passing showers through the day, but not near as rainy as the past couple of days. You won't need any extra time if you're going anywhere, unless, of course, Atlanta roads decide to be Atlanta roads, which we know they can be very busy. But you will need the sunglasses today because the sunshine will return. Let's take you hour by hour through the rest of the afternoon here. So by lunchtime, we'll still hold on to cloudy skies. I think at this point, we will start to see some clearing skies in West Georgia. If you live in West Georgia, you'll be a little warmer today. Maybe a quick passing shower, but mostly dry by the time the kids are getting off the bus as you're heading home from work. And then notice around 7, 8, 9 o'clock, we'll be watching for a few showers to develop really up in the mountains for the most part. The mountains will kind of be the main focal point for showers and storms the next couple of days. Essentially, the mountains kind of provide their own extra lift just because of how they are, because they're what we call topography. So overall, the mountains will kind of be the hot spot for rain the next couple of days. At midnight, though, we're dry with temperatures in the low 70s. Let's talk about high temperatures today. A little warmer than the last couple days as well. With that sunshine returning, we will have temperatures climbing to the low 80s. But notice West Georgia, places like Rome could climb into the mid 80s this afternoon because, again, I think you'll see a little more sunshine first later today. Taking you through First Alert Futurecast, here's a look at 3 o'clock. You'll notice a lot of sunshine. You'll see that kind of gray color clear, that white color clear. That's an indication of the clouds decreasing. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Wind will be mostly dry for your afternoon commute. But again, between about 7 and 9, we'll mainly look in the mountains for some showers to develop. Heavy downpours will be possible. So if you're up in Helen, Towns, Union, Rabun County, up towards it looks like Lumpkin County, if you have any dinner plans tonight, you'll probably want to bring the umbrella with you just in case. And then again, watch. You'll see that up in the mountains, mountains, that's really where our focus for showers will be over the next several days. Now, tomorrow's rain chance goes up to 30% because some of these could end up pushing down into metro throughout the evening. Notice starting in the mountains around 4 and then pushing south potentially into north metro around and after sunset. So Cherokee County looks like up into Ellijay, all the way up into Hall County as well, parts of northern Fulton County. You could have some shower activity around and after sunset tomorrow night. So we did increase that rain chance tomorrow to about 30%. And then for your Friday, we do look mostly dry. Again, the best chance for rain in the mountains. Will sound like a broken record the next couple of days is where I'm getting at. But mostly dry forecast. And temperatures will stay relatively mild for this time of year. Our average high is 90. We're going to stay in the low to mid 80s the next several days. So honestly, this is great for August. Since last week, we went back into the 80s, I believe, on Saturday. We're going to have a whole week plus of temperatures below average after hitting 100 degrees just over a week ago. Now going into Sunday and Monday of next week, so the weekend into the start of next week, we will start to have a little bit of a pattern shift. There's going to be a front that's stalled well to our south, and that's going to start to lift a little further north. We're going to be watching a low that's going to try to develop along it. That's going to pump in a lot of moisture into the southeast, and so that's going to help promote more widely scattered showers and storms. We've had this pattern set up a couple of times so far this summer, and that's just going to increase that rain chance to about 40% on Sunday. So let's talk about your weekend, because I know you're already thinking about it. I am too. 20% chance for rain on Saturday. Temperature in the low 80s. We will see partly sunny skies on Saturday. So more clouds than sun, but still a good day to get out. Sunday, fine during the day. It does look like most of that rain will be back half of the day. So if you have any dinner plans, you might have some showers that you'll have to deal with. But it does look like most of the rain that rolls in on Sunday, 1, will be along and south of I-20, but 2 should be rolling in by the time you're kind of wrapping up your Sunday and winding down for the next work and school week. Now, we are also watching the tropics. Those are not winding down. We have this low that's trying to develop. You can kind of see it starting to swirl off the Atlantic coast there. National Hurricane Center giving this a 40% chance of development. Maybe becomes a tropical depression as it kind of floats off to the north up the Atlantic coast there. More than likely not going to become a tropical storm. And thankfully, because this is starting to develop so far off the coast, it doesn't look like it's really going to have much of an impact on our forecast, but it will bring some scattered showers along the Carolina coastline this weekend. So if you do have any plans in Charleston or anywhere along the South or North Carolina coast, just know that scattered showers will be more likely because of that low trying to develop, unfortunately. So just if you had any plans to head a little further north here out of Georgia this weekend. Now, another tropical wave, I guess you could say, that we're watching coming off the African coast, 60% chance of development on this. And this is starting to look a little healthier at this. What you're looking at is infrared satellite. So what that does is it takes kind of a scan of the temperature of the top of the clouds, and the brighter they are, the taller those cloud tops are. And when you have taller cloud tops, that essentially means that they are growing stronger. And so definitely seeing a lot of bright red here. So this is indicating to me that this low is actually starting to maybe get its act together. This has plenty of opportunity to move over the open Atlantic. Not a lot of wind shear in the Atlantic right now, which tears apart storms, so that kind of decreases chances of development. So there's not a lot of that, and we don't have a lot of Saharan dust either. So without a lot of wind shear or Saharan dust, this essential tropical wave is going to have plenty of opportunity to develop. Now, models have hinted that this could become our first hurricane of the season. Some recent model runs are hinting that this isn't going to become our first hurricane of the season. It's going to kind of fizzle apart as it starts to beeline into the central Atlantic. We'll still watch this, but notice off the coast of Africa, you see all that disturbed weather like right along the coast? This time of year, that's what we watch for. These just little tropical waves that come off the African coastline, move out into the warm open waters of the Atlantic, and then develop, right? So there are a few waves that are starting to develop right off the coast there, and we will have to watch anything that's trailing behind that, because I will say, looking ahead and kind of looking at the big picture across the Atlantic Ocean basin, we do have a lot of activity that looks like it's going to start coming off the coast of Africa into the central Atlantic. So while we're only watching this particular wave right now with a 60% chance of development, wouldn't be surprised to see some more of those start to pop up from the National Hurricane Center over the coming days. Here's a look at that first alert 7-day forecast. 82 degrees today for a high temperature. Sunshine returns. Isolated chance for showers. 30% chance of showers tomorrow, mainly up in the mountains, and then around and after sunset, some of those showers and storms could drift into North Metro. Mostly dry into the upcoming weekend. If you're headed to the Braves game this Friday, looks great for that. And then we'll increase that rain chance Sunday into Monday. So as you're thinking about going back to work and school next week, you don't have to think about it yet, but you want to keep in the back of your mind. You want the umbrella with you going back to work and school next week. And then we'll hold on to at least a 40% coverage of showers and storms next Tuesday with the highs in the mid to upper 80s. No 90 degrees on that 7-day forecast. All right, make it a wonderful day today, everyone. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. We'll catch you here next time.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF Plus. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.